The reason why I love this book was it taught me to kind of start speaking the language and understanding some of the math behind maybe institutional investors.
Yeah.
Again, as a new guy, I really didn't know how to speak that language, and I think this book has really taught me, to at least use the correct words in the correct situations and have an understanding of the mathematics behind that. But with that, internal rate of return, we have to understand that scenario I gave before, $100,000 property, we put down $20,000, 20%. We borrow $80,000. We place a tenant. Now, with over months, that tenant is paying your mortgage. So not only are we able to collect and pocket at the end of the month any money that our tenant pays us above our mortgage, insurance, etc., we pocket that money. But when we're looking at these investments and factoring in some of the diving a little bit deeper into the investment, that tenant is, again, it's paying down our principal and interest of our mortgage month over month. So that in and of itself, how do we factor for that? That's what the internal rate of return is. So where we might be getting a 20% rate of return, put down $20,000 first year, we get $4,000 back. Right off the bat, we'll say, okay, that's a great deal. That's a home run, 20%. That's a 20% return on cash on cash return deal. Now, what we're not factoring in is the debt pay down. So, the amount of principal that your tenant is paid down on your mortgage for you on top of whatever that property has appreciated in the year that you've owned it actually makes that 20% deal better than a 20% deal. So again, just the all the external factors that play into any given real estate deal or business deal, just the time, the appreciation, all the tax benefits, and debt pay down. It's all of those factors combined are just one of some of the big reasons that I've chose to go all in on residential real estate.
Love it. I love it. I think you hit on one of the things my mentor taught me is ideal real estate. You get buy real estate for income every month, the depreciation, tax benefits, all of those things that encompass the equity build up as you pay the mortgage down, the appreciation as the mortgage, the value of housing goes up. And then obviously leverage, is kind of the big one I'm excited about and we teach. But one of the things for me, the biggest thing that sticks out for me, if I have one big metric, probably the biggest one is gross operating income. When I'm looking at a property, it's a rental, we're going to keep and buy and hold. It's some of the things I think you can look at it. And my whole thing is, how can we change it? What can we do? This property, if it fits our buy box, what could we do to make it better or improve upon it? So I think gross operating income is probably the number one thing for me. And, I think the biggest thing is just tenants, poor tenant screening, gets the wrong person in. You're going to have tons of headaches. They're not going to pay rent. They're going to destroy it. They're looking at places that have deferred maintenance. Gets me excited when I'm buying. But once I get it, I don't want it to have deferred maintenance. It's actually costing you money by not fixing things. And then underpricing rents or not raising rents is actually hurting you and the tenant. And then management inefficiencies is the big one, I think kind of encompasses all that. So we're looking for places that have kind of those things and not so much they need a bunch of CapEx or a bunch of work put into them right away to fix them up, but how can we just change it as in forced appreciation, a little bit of maintenance, a better tenant or raising rents and all these things could drastically swing the numbers, good or bad, into your favor, I think.